Hello, today we are making our slow cook roast. This is just 2 to 3 ingredients depending on how you want to make it in our Dining on a Dime cookbook, volume 1 on page 234. This is a classic recipe every mom and grandma makes. Now, everybody says I don't want to have to clean up. Listen, line your pan with foil. I would rather have you spend money on foil than to go out to eat. This is a whole lot cheaper. Now, I got this roast right here. You can see $3.99 a pound. It was just $2.99 a pound a couple weeks ago, but I got this one back in November, so I'm using it up to get my freezer cleaned out. Now, the one question I get all the time is, what kind of roast do I buy? I just buy whatever is the cheapest. This one is a rump roast, but you can get any type you want. Chuck, whatever. I just buy whatever is the cheapest on sale. Then what I do is I just throw them in the freezer, and then I just cook them up in my pan, slow cook them all day long. I take a onion. Yes, I know this is not proper cutting technique. I very rarely use a cutting board. Then I put seasoned salt all over. Now, the recipe calls for cream of mushroom soup. You can use that if you want it. It makes a really nice gravy. I am gluten-free, so I can't use cream of mushroom soup anymore. Very liberally salt it with seasoned salt. Then I put my onion on top. Add some water, 1 to 2 cups, however much you want. Now, I only do that because I want extra gravy. So you can do that if you want, and it just adds a little bit of extra moisture. You don't have to. Then I seal it with another piece of foil. I set my oven to 250 degrees. Yes, that is correct. And then I just let it cook all day long. It is 11 o'clock in the morning, so I'm going to turn my heat up to just 350 for an hour. There. Okay. So I'm just turning my heat up because it's 11 o'clock. We're going to eat about 5. I didn't get it in as early as I wanted, so I turned it up to 350 for an hour to get it started cooking. Then I'm going to turn it down to 250. But if you leave work in the morning, just throw it in your oven at 250 degrees. You can put your potatoes and carrots in there at that temperature also if you want to. Now, since I'm home, I'm going to wait and put my potatoes and carrots in about 3 o'clock and let them cook about 2 hours as the roast is finishing. Now, check your roast. If it's about an hour before dinner time and your roast is not quite done yet, you should be able to pull it apart with a fork really easy. You can turn your oven back up to 350 and that will get it finished cooking. Now, you can also cook this in your Instant Pot. You can also cook this in your crock pot. You can pretty much do it any way you would like to. I will say, I find the oven gives it a much better flavor. So I prefer cooking it in the oven over the Instant Pot or crock pot, but feel free to do that if you want to put it in those two things. The other thing is, everybody says, oh, I don't want to leave my oven cooking all day long. That makes absolutely no sense at all. Absolutely no sense. Do you leave your heater running during the winter? Do you leave your crock pot running? Do you leave your Instant Pot running? Anything that produces heat, including your oven, is safe to run in your house all day long. I don't know why people have this paranoia about the oven, but please do not let that stop you from using your oven. Your oven is perfectly safe to be running all day long on low to cook your slow cooked roast. Mike said if it's not, you shouldn't be cooking in it, and he's right. Okay, we're gonna let this cook for 5 or 6 hours, and then we're gonna come back and show you what it looks like. So I'm gonna be showing you the done roast in just a minute, but just to give you guys a few ideas on what to use with leftover roast beef. I always cook a much bigger roast than my family needs for just one meal. I try to get at least 3 to 6 meals out of a roast. What are some things that I do with leftover roast? Remember, it's not leftovers. We're just pre-cooking for the next meal. I will make beef and noodles. I will make beef stroganoff. I will make beef stew, fajitas, hot roast beef sandwiches. You could even use it in place of things like ground beef to make sloppy joes. You could just chop it up really fine and you make the sloppy joe sauce. That recipe is in our Dining on a Dime Volume 1 and on our website. If you guys go to our website, livingonadime.com, we have a whole list of recipes to use with leftover roast beef. This is one of the simplest meats you can cook. Literally takes 5 minutes and you can have meals for most of the week. You can get these recipes in the description below. Okay, this smells so good. Do you smell it, dear?
I do.
I think it's done. Now, we had a change of plans for Mom's birthday. So I didn't put the baked potatoes in, but, ooh, it's not done yet. Okay, so I'm gonna cook it for a little bit longer, maybe an hour longer.
Yeah, it should just fall apart, right?
It should just fall apart. Yep, it's not ready yet. Okay, so since I already have it open and everything, I'm gonna take and put the juice over the top. I might go another 1 or 2 hours. On there. Oh, yum, it smells delicious. Okay, put it back in the oven and let it finish cooking. And I am gonna turn the heat up to probably 280 or so. Well, we'll do 300. And just get a little bit higher so that it will go quicker. Okay, so we sort of had a roast meltdown yesterday. So we didn't get it filmed. I accidentally left, we had something come up, accidentally left it in the oven all night long. Not all night long, but several more hours than it should have been. So this is a new roast. And I will show you, see how it just falls apart just like that. I always put the fat side up, that way the fat goes into the meat and it gets it all nice and juicy, but look how tender that is. And we had to delay Mom's birthday party, so this is her birthday roast. Now, I also, when I make a roast like this, take and pour some of the juices over, and that makes it even more moist before I take and make gravy out of the juices. Oh my goodness, doesn't that look delicious? Does that look delicious, dear?
Mm-hmm, it smells even more delicious, sir.
Actually, maybe it smells even more delicious, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that a word? All this juice is going to be used for my gravy.
Ooh. Are we gonna put these potatoes in with the roast, or are we gonna make mashed potatoes?
I'm gonna make mashed.
Ooh, the best mashed potatoes to ever exist on the face of this earth that are in your Dining on a Dime cookbook where you can eat better and spend...
You're doing great, you're doing great. Okay, and we're making mashed potatoes. Page 161 right there.
161.
Or garlic mashed potatoes if you want also.
Or garlic mashed potatoes, yeah.
Very good, very delicious. Now, I get a piece of like a grocery sack or whatever. We happen to have this empty jelly bean bag from the boys' birthday on the trash top. So I'm putting all my peels here. Then I can just gather them up and throw them in the trash. How many potatoes do you use per person? You can do about 1. I throw in a couple of extra because we like leftovers. So I do about 1.5 to 2 potatoes per person, so that we have leftovers and we can make potato pancakes, which that recipe is livingonadime.com in the description below and in our Dining on a Dime cookbook volume 1. And potato pancakes are a great way to use leftover potatoes. You can also use leftover mashed potatoes in bread. We have potato bread recipe, I think it's volume 1, and it's on our website. So don't throw away those leftover mashed potatoes. They make your breads really super fluffy and moist. Now there is a secret ingredient and everyone is going to go, ooh, gross, when I get to that point of the recipe. But let me tell you, You do not want to leave out the secret ingredient, because the secret ingredient is what makes your mashed potatoes absolutely perfect and the best in the whole wide world. Okay, so now when you got your potato peels all done, see how nice and neat that is? And then look at how nice and easy that is to throw away. We're going to rinse our potatoes just like so. Oops, and I forgot to cut off all the bad parts before I threw the other pieces away. That was my own fault for jumping ahead of myself. But then this is Mom's little trick here. She just cuts her potatoes in quarters instead of small slices. So she just cuts them into quarters just like that. Then they cook just as fast, but you don't have as much cutting to do. And just like that.
So why does it matter if you're gonna mash them?
It doesn't. It just cooks quicker when they're in quarters.
Oh.
Yep.
So you cook them before you mash them?
You cook them before you mash them.
I have.
You've never done mashed potatoes before.
I haven't. I should.
You should. I should teach you how to do mashed potatoes. So that then when you are on your own in the wild blue yonder, you won't starve to death. You won't have to live on ramen noodles alone.
You can live on ramen noodles and mashed potatoes.
There you go.
It's a perfectly balanced meal.
It is perfectly balanced, I'm sure. One in each hand, huh? Okay, now we're going to fill this with water and boil it. We're going to bring them to a boil. No, you don't want to salt or anything before you boil them. We are making homemade brown gravy from our Dining on a Dime cookbook, page 234, right there. Guys, I have never bought a gravy packet in my life, ever. Why? Because they're gross. Homemade brown gravy is super easy and it is so much tastier. Now, I have a little extra water in my pan here. I'm going to pour my broth in just a minute, but I have more water here, which is dumb because I should have just put my flour in here and mixed it. Why did I do that? Because I want to show you my cute cup. That's why I did that. See? Right there. Isn't that cute? Okay, so I'm just going to pour my flour. Now, you can use cornstarch or arrowroot if you want. Now, the trick to get smooth gravy is to put your flour, cornstarch, or arrowroot in cold water and then mix it, and then you will have no lumps in your gravy. Isn't that magic, dear?
Yep.
Just magic.
I'm sure.
Okay, so before I get my gravy from my roast in there, I'm going to put my bouillon cubes in here. Just gives it a little extra flavor. You don't have to use this at all. I just add the bouillon as extra because I don't have quite enough broth, so it'll make a little more gravy. Okay, here is my, make a little funnel there. And, oh dear. Well. Oops. I guess
You need to hold that rope.
that didn't work quite as well as I had anticipated. Oh dear.
Intensifies.
Thanks. Does this bring back horrible Thanksgiving memories for you, son?
No, those were
Yes.
awesome Thanksgiving memories.
Okay, we're going to cover this up and keep it warm. Just ignore the smoke, flames, whatever you want to call it. This is why I have a glass top stove. And I will never be without one ever again. Okay.
Thanks to your husband who told you not to use the other one in here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I am appreciating it now. Okay, then we're going to let this cook, and it's going to get all nice and bubbly and thickened. So give that just a minute. Okay, we're going to drain our mashed potatoes. Oh, and I forgot to tell you how the mashed potatoes are done. I'll show you real quick. Let me get all the water out. Okay, there's my water. To tell if your mashed potatoes are done, just take a knife and stick them straight in there. If it goes in super easy, they are done. Okay, I'm gonna put in some salt. a very generous amount of salt. My secret ingredient, put in about 1 tablespoon of sugar. You will, do you taste the sugar in it, dear?
No.
You don't ever taste the sugar, do you? No, it just brings out the flavor of the mashed potatoes. Try it and you will never make mashed potatoes without it again. This even works for instant mashed potatoes. Now, just add a little milk as you go to make it creamier. Should have got a spoon, but you guys know how much I hate dishes. Look at that, lump-free, perfectly mashed potatoes. Now, you can put butter in here, you can put sour cream, you can put cheese, you can put garlic. Stop, stop. Oh no, 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 no. This garlic, or this gravy was not meant to be today, was it? We had it and we lost it. Okay.
Got the observers.
Memories of Thanksgiving here.
Got the fire department observers over here. As normal, they're observing.
Dave is just back there shaking his head. Okay. Oh, yum. Okay, that is delicious. Got our gravy all ready. Guys, watch your gravy. Do as I say, not as I do. But normally, this is really a 5-minute process unless you're Tara and not paying attention. So, please give me a thumbs up if you've over boiled your gravy before. So you can add all those things and have mashed potatoes that are loaded. If you would like sour cream, cheese, garlic, anything like that, you can boil garlic cloves and mash them with your potatoes, and that's super yummy. But Mom likes just plain mashed potatoes, and it's her birthday dinner.
Dun 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 bum bum dun 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 bum bum dun 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 dun.
Tara's not cooking unless she has something on fire.
That needs to be a new slogan of yours. If it ain't on fire, it ain't done.
If it ain't fire, it ain't done. That's my new slogan. Okay, gravy cleanup, guys. This really isn't that hard. I put baking soda with a little bit of water, let it soak for, I don't know, an hour or so, 2 hours, 8 hours, I don't know, just a couple of hours. And then I just wipe it off, and you might have to scrub a couple of places. This works best with hot water, but you can see I had that great big huge mess. And I mean, my goodness, it literally took me 2 minutes just to get it off. It didn't take any time at all. Just let your baking soda paste soak for an hour or so. It doesn't have to be that long. Voila! Isn't that beautiful?
See, the trick to looking like a flawless cook is just to clean up your mess before anyone finds out.
There you go, Mike's words of wisdom. Today we are making from our Dining on a Dime cookbook volume 2. It's the blue one. The no bake cheesecake on page 304. Today is Mom's birthday and she loves cheesecake. We also have a chocolate cheesecake in here that's really super good also. Now I'm making my crust from scratch. Graham crackers, you want 1.5. There. See, now I feel so much better. Alright, now you can put this in a food processor if you want, but if you don't have a food processor, you could just smack your graham crackers just like so and get them all smushed. gonna put in a bowl here 2 tablespoons of butter. Normally a stick of butter is 8 tablespoons, so you want a quarter of that. Gonna microwave that and get it melted. Okay, finish smashing up my graham crackers here. Now, of course, you can use a pre-made crust if you want. And we need 1.5 cups of graham crackers. So there's 1. And then, well, what do you know? All right, so 1 package of graham crackers. One of these sleeves of graham crackers is 1.5 cups. I bet they did that on purpose. Okay, so now we're gonna get this all stirred together. Oops, I guess I should have smushed it a little bit better. And I forgot my 2 tablespoons sugar. This is a 1/2 cup measure that I keep in my sugar, so I'm just putting half of that in there. Because 4 tablespoons equals 1/4 cup. So it's a 1/4 cup measure, I need half. So now we're gonna push this into our pan. You don't have to use your measuring thing. You can use a hands if you want. It doesn't really matter. I just happen to have this since it was already dirty. Just thought I would use it. Just spread it around. Get smushed in there. Real good and even. Okay. Now we are going to take our cream cheese. Guys, this is just, the cheesecake part is just 4 ingredients. Well, kind of 3 actually, because your vanilla is optional. Okay, I do have to admit, since going to dairy-free, I really do miss cheesecake. I do make my dairy-free version with goat cheese and coconut, sweetened condensed coconut milk, but that's another video. Okay, so you got your cream cheese, your sweetened condensed milk. Oh, yum. One of the best inventions ever. Sweetened condensed milk. All right, guys, give me a thumbs up, a like, subscribe, and share if you agree, because I have to tell you, I think it is. Okay, teaspoon of vanilla. Usually this cap is a 1/2 teaspoon, so I just use that. I just use the imitation stuff from Walmart because I'm cheap. And 1/4 cup of lemon juice. Then I use these lemon packets, these true lemon packets, because I just don't buy lemons that much. And so this way, if I need it for a recipe, I just add a little bit of water. And I've got my lemon juice. Okay, let's get this mixed. Okay, push against the side to help break up some of the lumps. Okay, if your cream cheese is super soft, you're not gonna need to mix it that much, but mine was still a little cold, so I pour it into our pie crust. In that situation, you can just nuke it for a few minutes, but we're just gonna go for it because that's what we do around here. Oh my goodness, that looks so good.
It smells so good.
Okay, now we are going to put this in the refrigerator and let it set up. Yep, can you see down there, dear? All
Yeah.
cream cheese.
That's a lot of cream cheese.
And then I decided to go on vacation. Oops. Oh well. Okay, so I gotta find a spot to put my cheesecake in everywhere. There we go. Okay, our cheesecake has sat in the refrigerator. We did sit it overnight because we had to cancel our birthday celebration last night. We're having it tonight. Now, strawberry or cherry makes a much brighter cheesecake, but Mom is a blueberry kind of a person. Okay, so putting on our blueberry pie filling for Mom. Mike likes cherry. I like it all.
I like blueberry too.
Then we'll just spread our blueberry all over our cheesecake. And there you go. Blueberry cheesecake for Mom's birthday dinner. This recipe is in the description below. Please give us a thumbs up if you love cheesecake. Like, subscribe, and share. Visit us at livingonadime.com.